Last week in worship, we left off in 1 Samuel with the beginning of Saul's kingship. This Sunday, we're going to pick up the story at the beginning of the end of Saul's kingship. What we find is that the Lord is disappointed that Saul has failed to follow the Lord's instructions. And we find Samuel deeply disappointed with Saul, which is a bit interesting because last week we read just how opposed to the monarchy that Samuel was. And this week we find Samuel deeply disappointed that the monarchy is failing. We don't find Samuel satisfied in the I told you so kind of way. Rather, we find him experiencing what feels like authentic disappointment that this has not worked out. The human condition, human relationships are such a complex thing. So infrequently are things clearly this or that. Are we simply one thing or another, for or against? There is far more commonly a tangly spectrum upon which things fall. For example, I can get so incredibly frustrated with my children, and yet that has no bearing on my deep and almost overwhelming sense of love for them. Another far lighter example is how I feel at times about my beloved Florida Gators. The Florida Gator football team has experienced back-to-back losing seasons for the first time since the 1970s. I can find lots to critique about their performance on the field, and yet, if I hear someone else criticizing them, particularly someone who is not a Gator fan, I'll defend them beyond all rationality. Humans are complex, funny creatures. And we're going to have the opportunity to dig into that a little bit more this coming Sunday in the context of our story from 1 Samuel. I'd encourage you to read the passage ahead of time, and in fact, I'd encourage you to read all of chapter 15 and into chapter 16 as you prepare for worship this coming Sunday. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you in worship this Sunday.